Welcome to this segment on Google Certified Trainer. In this module, we're going to explore a variety of additional Google services, how to enable two-step authentication, and lots of other stuff. So let's go ahead and jump in. Now, if you're not familiar with the Google Admin Console, you'll want to spend some time going through it. Now, as a Google certified trainer, you can actually set up your own Google domain and all of that, but if hopefully in your school district, you can get access to the admin console because there is a lot of stuff here that you can really spend some time going through. And I would encourage you to just take some time and work your way through every one of these icons and explore everything that's available. Get over to the pancake stack up in the top left hand corner. You can see there's a lot here. You can quickly see apps. You can see the G Suite core apps. You can see additional Google services, and right away that's exactly what we need to look for, is those additional Google services. There's also G Suite Marketplace apps and SAML apps, whatever that is. But as you can see here, you can go through all of these areas. You'll see things that are useful. You can find the directory, the users, the groups, the organizational units that you can use to organize your users, where you can put users that maybe have left the district but you don't want to throw away their account, or you want to give them temporary access to YouTube so that they can complete a Google Educator exam. So all of that is there and available. There's also how to manage your devices, your apps, how to control security, reporting, billing, and account information. So how do we turn on additional services? What are additional Google services? I'm just looking at this. It says there's apps. It's, to me, it's much easier to just come over here and look at my apps and then go to additional Google services. There it is. You see the breadcrumb trail says that it's under apps. So if I'd started sort of at the beginning, I could have come through it via apps. And here are all my different pieces. Again, this really sort of matches, where'd it go? This matches the apps menu that's in my pancake stack. Why do I call it a pancake stack? You can see the icon up here looks like a stack of pancakes. So you can find all of this stuff here, and let's just quickly revisit what are the core apps. You can see that we've got Calendar, Classroom, Drive and Docs, Gmail, Google Meet, although that's going to have a different space pretty soon where you can go configure it. Groups for Business, Hangouts Chat, Hangouts Meet, and Google Hangouts. The Jamboard service, which is a digital whiteboard. Keep, Sites, and Tasks. All of these are our essential services that we can use and take advantage of. So what are additional Google services? So these are the ones that you want to be aware of, because you can see Blogger is available, and it's currently turned off, but if I wanted to, I could just come over here and turn it on for everyone. That would enable them to create blogs. Really fantastic tool to use in classrooms and at the district level. There's also Campaign Manager, the Chrome Web Store. That'd be a pretty essential service, I think, but it's an additional Google service. FeedBurner, which I believe has been used for RSS feeds and other things. Google Plus, which I probably wouldn't steer people to that. Google Ad Manager, Google Ads, Google AdSense, Google Alerts, Google Books, Chrome Sync, Cloud Platform. There's a lot of extra services here, including Google Photos, Google Play, and you can find quite a bit here. So take some time and go through this list and become familiar with it enough so that if someone says, we want to turn Google Voice on for everybody, what is that going to involve? You'll be able to come over here and turn on Google Voice. You may also want to check to see how much that costs and whether it's free through another provider and available. There's also Tour Creator, third-party app backups. all of these are just different Google services, and you want to know how to turn those on or off. Again, remember, all you have to do is point to it and then come over to the skinny snowman. That's those three vertical dots, and you can turn it off or on. If it's on, you can turn it off. If it's on, I mean off, you can turn it on. So there you go. Very easy to access. How did we get here? Remember, go to the pancake stack, go to your apps, and then additional Google services. And of course, you can get there through all the icons, but this can sometimes get a little bewildering for people, so you can go there to that. Enable two-step authentication. So I'm going to take a wild guess here and say that two-step authentication is probably, I could be wrong, probably somewhere either in security or accounts or someplace. So I'm just going to come down here and choose settings for security and see. Now remember, you do have a search bar across the top, and so there is quite a bit of things that you can take advantage of here. You can do some quick searches. Now I'm on the security page for my particular domain, and you can see I've got a lot of different resources. I can come in here and configure my password management. I can enforce a strong password, and then make sure change the frequency, although apparently best practices no longer recommend forcing people to change their passwords as much, because then they come up with passwords that aren't safe and tend to forget them. There are also different ways to do things here. There's the login challenges. Not sure when I would use these, but these are ones that are available to you. And I think let me come down here to advanced settings. Okay, advanced settings, we have authentication, security and resources, API permissions, but still, where is the two-step authentication? Do you know? I wish you could tell me. Where could I find two-step authentication? Look at that. Right under basic settings, the number one item here, you will find two-step verification, also known as two-step authentication. And again, this allows users to turn on two-step verification. So this is something that I think should be required for all users, but you're going to have to do some selling of the idea up front. You're going to have to help people understand why it's important. Usually after one phishing attack where it's been successful, you'll see that. But when you click on two-step verification, you can see that you can turn on enforcement from a particular date. You can turn it on right away. You can allow two-step verification methods. There's apparently different ones that you could use. You can also have security codes, which are one-time codes that people can have access to and take advantage of. So how did we get to two-step verification, or authentication as it's also known? Very simply, go to security, and right there at the top of the list under basic settings, you're going to find two-step verification. Also, in terms of adjusting the password strength, you're going to look under password management, and you can see this is where you can enforce strong passwords. And a lot of school districts are using Active Directory or some kind of single sign-on solution where a lot of these things are going to be managed. It's not the password is going to match up to whatever people use to sign into their devices. Now, one of the other expectations is describe the Google support process for requesting additional user accounts. So how do you do that? So one of the ways that you can add users or get more accounts, and this is typically if you start out with, you've got 10,000 free accounts, how do you jump up from there? You can go to the support area and You can contact support and request help. Um, or as you can see here, you can also add additional users. It's not very difficult to add more users. Um, so you can see that all you have to do is let the Google Cloud support team know that you need more accounts, and they're going to issue it to you. They're usually pretty fast. I remember when I did it in my school district, we got pretty fast turnaround on additional user accounts, and we were ready to go right away. But as you can see, you can just go to your Google Admin Console, go to support, which is right here, and then check to see what you can do. Now, chances are all you need to do is add new users, and they're going to you're going to get them in. So you can how you add users is really going to vary by how automated your user creation system is, whether you're using single sign-on or other solutions to generate users, and how you're synchronizing and keeping them connected to Active Directory. So check with your technology team, whomever's handling the single sign-on. I hope that you have that because that'll simplify things. Now, if you need help, there are different places you can go. Obviously, you can come over here to support, but up in the top right-hand corner, you can see there is a help assistant, and that's essentially what you're doing when you click on support. You'll be able to get additional assistance and get going. Now, when you access support, which will bring up the help assistant, you can always look at existing questions that they've provided for you. They pre-populated a few of the more common issues, but you can click on contact support, tell them what kind of support you want, and they will, for example, I asked about G Suite. It would say, how would you like to contact support? You can see chat, phone, or email, and so that makes it very simple to get assistance. So again, just go to your help assistant, contact support, and then tell them what it is that you need support on, and then they'll say, okay, we've got these options available to you, so that you can take advantage of that. Another area that you need to be aware of is, how do you know when G Suite is down? It has happened several times, and so it can be a bit of a problem. One of the websites that I would bookmark is the G Suite status dashboard. The G Suite status dashboard will give you a running status of pretty much all of the G Suite tools, and you'll be able to see what their status has been for the last few days. So for example, I'm running this status on the 29th. That's today, and you can see that for this week, everything has been great. Everything is in the green, and there hadn't been any outages. You can also see the admin console and other pieces are also in the green. This one page really provides a lot of information, and if you go to google.com/apps status, APPS, then the word status altogether, you will get access to the G Suite status dashboard. This is a wonderful tool to share with your users and make them aware of it, because they'll be able to see if there's a problem on their own. It's also good for you to check periodically, maybe once a day, to see if there are any issues, because that'll let you know if you're going to start getting phone calls from people saying, hey, is there a problem with Google, if you haven't already noticed it while working on projects. Now, one of the expectations for a GCT is that you know how to sign the district up for G Suite for Education. And this is actually information that you'll find in the resource links, but there is a quick start IT setup guide that you can go through. And you'll see that it sort of walks you through some of the things that you need to do. If you don't know what MX records are, no big deal. You just need to, they're very important. I mean, you have to set them up. You may want to check with your network engineer in the district, and they can provide some support on getting that going. There's also a whole piece about organizational units, and we'll talk about that in a little bit more detail in just a second. But as you can see, the idea behind organizational units is that they let you segment your user population. What does that mean? Well, that essentially means that you can set up organizational units for entire campuses. So if you want to organize everyone according to campus, you can create an OU that has all the campus folks together. If you want to do it by role or function, for example, maybe you want to have all administrators or principals in a particular OU, you can do that as well. It allows you to provide different services and permissions to different groups of people by OU. So you can say, I want permissions 1, 2, and 3 assigned to everybody except for this specific group. I want them to have permissions 1, 2, 3, and 4. And so that is just a very simple way to explain organizational units, but they are used extensively a lot of times as part of Active Directory in Windows and in other places. But Google has organizational units here, and again, you can either go through your pancake stack and go try to find go to the directory, and you'll see that you have users, groups, and organizational units. And so you can come here and click on organizational units, and you can see that I've got a few, well, actually just a few located. So my domain is tcatraining.org, and then underneath that I have a variety of organizational units. As you might imagine, creating an organizational unit is pretty easy. I just come over here to this yellow button, click on the plus sign, and it's going to ask me, how do you want to set that up? Once I have an organizational unit set up, then I'm able to actually add users to it. And so this one is very simple. You can see it's Miguel students. And if I come back to my pancake stack and go to users, I can actually see which users are in this organizational unit called Miguel's students. I have one called contractors, dashboard webinars, apparently some that are going to get deleted, elementary school, high school, and of course in each of these you would be able to either add new users one by one or bulk upload users. Again, there are other ways to do this to handle user management so that it's automated. You'll have to check again with your technology team and find out what system are you using that's going to interface with this. But very simply, this is how you would manage your organizational units via the Google Admin Console. Again, just to review, you could either go to users or go to your pancake stack and go to directory, and you'd be able to do that. You're going to get a lot more familiar with this as you navigate through the admin console. So I definitely recommend that you spend some time playing around with it.